Vladimir Sychevoy is the latest player being rumored with a move to Red Star Belgrade. Sychevoy currently plays for Orenburg in Russia, where he was named the Player of the Month for October. I think he scored 6 goals and had 1 assist in, I think it was 5 matches, 4 or 5 matches. So great output for a center forward, and then it's at a position that we desperately need. We only have one player there right now that we're kind of counting on. That's Alexander Pešić, who runs himself into the ground pretty much every time he's on the pitch. So far, Sychevoy has 16 goals and 2 assists in 17 matches. So that's across all competitions, which is obviously very good for a center forward. He has scored a bunch of goals in the last 7 matches. I think he has 9 goals and 2 assists in the last 7 matches. So he's piled it on. As of late, I think the Russian league is also going to go on a little hiatus while the World Cup is going on. So basically what I've noticed, there's not a lot on him in terms of YouTube stuff. So what I have noticed is that he's kind of similar to what we had in Ohi Omewanfo in terms of has a nose for goal, and he seems to always be in the right place. Wherever a player can kind of feed him the ball, that's where he's going to be. And I think that's very important for a striker. I'm kind of cautious of the fact that he's similar to Ohi because the club let Ohi go. So I don't know kind of what do they see in Sychevoy in terms of how is he better than what Ohi was. So I think that's the first part. I think that's kind of interesting. That you're going for a similar player, so you tried it once, you failed, so you're going to try to kind of do it again. And again, I could be wrong because I've only seen there's only a few clips of him on YouTube, so it wouldn't be fair for me to come on here and say I know everything about the player. But yeah, just a nose for goal always seems to be kind of in the place where his teammates can kind of feed him the ball and where he can score. A lot of his goals are from close range. He's taken a number of penalties this year as well, so that kind of tells you a little bit about him. And Zvezdan Terzic today had a conference to kind of mark the first half of the season where he said Red Star is going to bring in a center forward. Milan Pavkov's experiment in Saudi Arabia hasn't worked. He said he doesn't feel that Pavkov is a viable option right now, so if you're kind of hoping for a reunion, I don't think that's going to happen, at least not now, not yet. We'll see what happens with Pavkov down the road, but as of right now, and it could be a smokescreen. Maybe the club is looking at Pavkov. Read 2-3 weeks ago that they were kind of willing to bring him back. But that's definitely a position of strengthening that we need. Again, Pešić was pretty much the only player we had there. Khalifa Koulibaly just hasn't played well at all for us, and I think his contract will be terminated with the club, and he would probably be sent back to. Actually, he won't be going back to none because I believe that he was a free agent when he joined. So we'll see what happens with him. But the team struggled with Pešić out. You pretty much with no real backup. Like I said, Koulibaly's out of the team. You're forced to play kind of like a false nine with Katai playing as the center forwards. At times it was Elfardu Ben who was at that position. And then lately it's been the youngster Mijatovic who was there. So we've kind of thrown in different players in that position just kind of in the hopes of just kind of filling out that role. And I don't think it's worked out very well, even though Katai has scored some goals from that position, so to say. But you need a true center forward to kind of be there to replace Pešić when he needs it, because does a lot of work for the team, even though he hasn't been scoring maybe nearly as much as people thought. I mean, he still has 7 goals in 15 matches, which is approximately a goal every 2 matches, which isn't too bad, and 3 assists. But I think fans thought that his output would be a lot better because the first time he was with us, the year that he left, he had something like 27, 28 goals in 9 matches or something like that. It was just a crazy number. So I think we were kind of expecting that same output, which I don't know if that's realistic with the amount of good players that Red Star does have in his team. Kate gets his goals, and then Mirko Ivanic, and then you have all these other guys, Kanga and whatever, so on and so forth, Bukari, Mitrovic. So I don't know if that was fair to expect the same kind of output. But like I said, yeah, he runs himself into the ground every time, and he was bound to pick up an injury. I think we're just very fortunate that it happened, 2 matches prior to the season coming to a close before the World Cup. So Vladimir Sychevoy. Sychevoy. Again, a target of Red Star. We'll see what happens with the transfer. Obviously, as the window approaches, you're going to hear more and more names being mentioned. Something Zvezdan Terzic did say he wants to get some of the younger players minutes. So whether that's with the team or out on loan, we'll see. Again, Vladimir Sychevoy from Orenburg. He has a contract until 2000, I believe, 24. I don't have the stats in front of me. 2024 with Orenburg. So we'll see what happens with that. I think he has a €1.5 million buyout clause. So that's also another thing that you kind of have to take into consideration when talking about this transfer and realizing if it's going to happen or not.